Now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, everybody, here we go. It is a blustery day across Northeast Ohio and pretty darn snowy, too. And the snow, not done quite yet.
I was afraid you were going to say that, Betsy Kling. I was afraid of that. The challenges on the roads, wow. And how we're experiencing our first big taste of snow this season. That is all straight ahead on What's New. And with that, we say hello again, Northeast Ohio. Thanks so much for being with us on this wintry Tuesday evening. Alongside Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford. Betsy, if this weather system truly is your Super Bowl, like you called it yesterday, please tell me we're at least at halftime.
Yeah, we're fourth quarter.
Oh,
we're
good.
Kind of staring down the 2-minute warning, quite honestly.
I love to hear that.
Look at me throwing down the football lingo.
I love it. Just don't throw a pick or give me any surprises, okay?
Yeah, we don't have any of that. I think we're pretty much just going to watch everything go as we head through the rest of the evening. Things should start improving here very quickly. Let's take a look at what is going on as far as the storm system goes. We still have the winter storm warning in effect for much of the area. There's the snow as it continues to come in. We are now in lake effect, everybody. We're on the backside of the storm system, but the winds are still absolutely cranking, and that wind direction is everything, and that is why we are getting all of this snow. Traffic continues to be a huge issue. Remember, it is also windy, so we have snow that is coming down at such a rate that the plows can't keep up, and then you throw wind on top of that. Now you've got blowing snow. The roads are not going to be improving until the snow stops, and again, that'll be taking place as we head through the latter part of the night tonight. If you can kind of squint a little bit, you can see all these little boxes here. Those are individual accidents that are currently happening here in Northeast Ohio on area highways, so it is still a sloppy, nasty mess outside. I think Al Wool, our fantastic director, just mentioned to me that we have CSU cam. Is that correct? And there you see the Interbelt Bridge. There are the snow tracks, right? So everybody's tires kind of wear down to the pavement. The temperatures are still kind of hanging out in the low 30s here in Northeast Ohio. So that's really good for road salt. But the question is, can we get the slush off of the roads? And that has really been complicating things through the evening. So it is slow going. Lots of folks saying they're making it. That's all that really matters. If you take your time, you'll make it too. If you have to go out. If you don't, why would you? There's a look at what's going on hour by hour. We have the widespread snow that's continuing now, but watch as we go through the evening. These snow bands start to shift a little bit. Drier air begins to push into the system here, and that will help to shut her down. And we're going to continue to watch the bulk of the snow moving out. I think this could be a little bit fast. I think the snow continues throughout areas east of downtown Cleveland as we go through the evening. And then once we get past midnight into the early morning hours, that's when we'll really start to see everything shifting out. And by golly, I think even tomorrow we're going to be seeing some sunshine. But here's the thing. We have that wind that's going to continue. How much more snow are we expecting? Well, maybe a 1 to 3 inch west and south. Maybe. A lot of you are going to be on the low end of that. Farther east, where we get those snow bands persisting, that's where we've got that 4 to 6 inches of snow still to go. High impact still on the roads and with the power outages. As a matter of fact, Matt Wentz is supposed to be here with us right now, but he lost power, so you're stuck with me for the evening. I'll have another update and big weather coming up in just a couple minutes. Jay.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one without power in Chagrin Falls. It went out early in the morning, and we haven't had it since. All right, starting your feed at 5, Betsy. Wow, check these pictures out. An impressive look at a 10-car train derail in Lorain County. This is near Middle Ridge and Route 58 in the Amherst area. We're still trying to find out how this happened and if anyone was hurt. We're digging on the details, and when we get them, we'll pass them along to you. Meantime, a live look at the roads along State Route 44 in Chardon. And the first major snowstorm is always a challenge for drivers, and particularly for those doing the cleanup. They don't get a preseason to get this right. Tiffany Tarpley joins us live now with a closer look at this tight wire act on our highways. Tiffany, good evening to you.
Well, good evening, Jay. You know what? I was supposed to be on a highway. Unfortunately, my car would not make it out of the driveway. So we are in Tiffany's neighborhood right now. A special thank you to Randy, the photographer, who made his way all the way over here so we could do this live shot. But you can see here behind me, right, we're on the side streets, a little slushy and snow covered, a little slippery too, I've noticed as drivers go by. But really overall, especially for ODOT, it's the consistent snowfall along with the wind that makes navigating these roads a little bit more difficult this time around. You've probably seen it if you've been out, cars in ditches, accidents, spinouts, you name it. It's been an issue today. The Ohio Department of Transportation crews weren't able to pre-treat the roads because of the rain, but the warmer pavement kept that rain from freezing on contact, which was a good thing as they were working early this morning. 300 plows are working throughout 17 counties here in Northeast Ohio. And Amanda McFarland with ODOT says they've received complaints from drivers about not seeing plows.
They might be a couple miles in front of you or a couple miles behind you, or maybe they had to pull off for a little bit to reload on salt. But know that we're out there and know that our drivers are doing everything they can to make sure the roads are safe and passable for you.
And so she says the biggest issue was the blowing and drifting snow. They plow an area and a few minutes later it looks like they weren't even there. So again, we are back out here live in Tiffany's neighborhood on the side streets. You're seeing what things look like out here. The wind definitely blowing. I see even a smaller tree in the neighborhood actually down because of all the weight from the snow, Jay. But as for ODOT, right now, their challenge is this lake effect snow, and they're going to be moving crews around if they need to, shifting them to go to the areas that are going to be hardest hit.
All right, Tiffany Tarpley live from Tiffany's neighborhood. Tiffany, thanks for the update. We appreciate it. Betsy?
We do want to get you the latest on today's coronavirus numbers here in Ohio. The state reported 9,030 new COVID-19 cases. Now, that is a big jump from yesterday, but do keep in mind these numbers are partial as the state continues to work through the backlog of cases that are under investigation.
All right, Betsy, let's take a look at our other key data points now. Positivity rate actually down a little bit. Boy, that is a good sign. We would love to see that trend continue over the next couple of days, down to 14.4%. Hospitalizations, though, still on the rise. We now have over 5,200 COVID-19 patients in Ohio hospitals, and deaths way too high. This is a huge jump from yesterday's number of 30. Now, some of this may be due to the slow reporting numbers that typically happen over the weekend, and particularly because we were coming off a holiday weekend.
Well, I know everybody has done it. You get your phone, and it chirps at you with a notification that you have a package that was just delivered. So you go outside, open the door onto the front porch, and there's no package because it has been taken by porch pirates. It is infuriating, and it's a crime that happens more often this time of year. Brandon Simmons joins us with how you can protect yourself. And Brandon, I'd have to assume those nifty video doorbells kind of come in handy with these situations.
Yeah, the video doorbells are cool, but the one thing is they don't really catch the thief. You just get to see them take it. And of course, that's no fun. But as you said, a lot of people were out shopping yesterday. In fact, we're hearing early reports that more than $11 billion was spent yesterday on Cyber Monday shopping. And of course, we all know what that means. The more shopping you do, the more packages that need to be delivered in the coming weeks. Now, many of us are choosing to have them delivered because, of course, it's the safer and, of course, more convenient option. But it's also convenient for those who are looking to commit crimes and steal those packages right off your front porch. Now, Mentor Police tells us that they've seen an uptick in this sort of crime over the last few years. And this year, they're going to be using some new tactics, including bait packages with GPS devices inside them to help catch thieves in the act.
This year with the pandemic, we're expecting more, obviously, packages being delivered. So we wanted to take a proactive approach. So we have undercover officers out and about in the neighborhoods, watching for suspicious vehicles, watching for people that may be following delivery trucks.
Now, police are also urging residents to call them if they see suspicious activity. They want those calls. Also, you should use alternative delivery options to keep your packages safe, like having a package delivered to a neighbor's house who you know will be at home at the time that package comes. Now, also, you should also keep in mind that services like Amazon and UPS also offer those secure lockers that are inside and outside of some convenient locations like stores, even gas stations. And also, one option I've used from FedEx, they allow you to have your packages diverted to a Walgreens store so you can pick it up at any time from there. Of course, it's just one more step that you have to do by going to those places. But of course, at least then you know your package is secure.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know, Brandon, a lot of folks usually have packages delivered to their place of work as well. But, you know, when you're not in the building, you're not going to go pick that package up.
Not
so
this
just
year.
Be safe. All right, go inside, get warmed up. Thank you so much for your report. Jay?
There was a video, Betsy, a couple of years ago of a guy that designed a camera, and he was a NASA engineer. And when the Porch pirates stole the package, he actually was able to get the little mini explosion that sent ink all over the thieves.
Nice.
And there was a camera, so he was able to see it. It's online. You got to YouTube it. It's pretty funny. Well, this is a huge story. It's the largest donation in MetroHealth's history, and likely the third largest donation to a public hospital ever. Joanne and Bob Glick donated, get this, $42 million to MetroHealth to fund programs that will address healthcare disparity in Cleveland neighborhoods. The new hospital building will be called the MetroHealth Glick Center in honor of the donation. Health is determined by more than access to doctors. It also includes healthy food, safety transportation, and controlling environmental stress.
80% of a person's health is determined by their zip code. And the people in the city of Cleveland are not in the best of zip codes. And I think that over time, we want to see them approach the same numbers as people in the community. And I think over a longer time, we'll know when the mortality rate in the city of Cleveland is the same as in the suburbs.
Wow, what an incredible gift. The Joanne and Bob Glick Fund for Healthy Communities will support programs that promote the health and well-being of the underserved in Greater Cleveland, as well as recognize the role of nurses as leaders in improving health of those in need. So it's pretty incredible, really, when you think about it. Monica was the only broadcast reporter, our own Monica Robbins, was the only broadcast reporter in town to get the interviews with the Glicks. And Betsy, I know that you hear so often that the health care that's available for many in the inner cities pales in comparison to that of the health care that's available in more wealthy suburbs and in some of the other zip codes that just have that better health care available. This is a huge $42 million donation that essentially is designed to level that playing field. What a brilliant idea.
It absolutely is, and MetroHealth serves a very important role here in Northeast Ohio, of course, because it's a county hospital, so to speak.
Yeah.
So they don't turn anybody away, and that is a really cool opportunity then that the Glicks gave to MetroHealth to make it even bigger, better, and more.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Wow, what a gesture. Well, what's new at Wade Oval? The latest from our friends at the Natural History Museum for the whole family. That's coming up next.
And later, an Oscar winner's big news, a huge revelation from the actor we all know as Ellen Page for now.
3 News, your home for the holidays.
Yes, it most certainly is. It is time for our Home for the Holidays series. This is a look at how some beloved places are celebrating Circle Fest this year at University Circle.
And today we're going to take you to the Cleveland Museum of Natural History, one of my favorite places, where there's focus on some special animals, not reindeer, but these animals have great stories. And don't forget about the 70-foot-long dinosaur named Happy.
The museum plans on celebrating the holidays this year a little differently. A lot of our programming is going to be virtual. My name is Allison Grazia, and I am the Manager of Public Engagement at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. One of our newest digital offerings is our Discovery programming. Some of our upcoming topics are going to include discussions with local breweries on fermentation, as well as fire ecology, which is actually really important here to a lot of land within Northeast Ohio.
Conservation can start right here in your own backyard. Hello, my name is Del. I'm one of the biologists here at the Wildlife Rescue Exhibit, the newest touring exhibit here at the Cleveland Museum of Natural History. This particular live animal exhibit focuses on conservation and rescue stories in the wild. Animals that have been pulled back from the brink of extinction. We get to meet a ton of animals, including our boa constrictor here. We obviously have a ton of space to properly socially distance people. All of the interactive components of the exhibit, we are doing touch-free. This exhibit is here for about the next 7 months, so well into 2021. If you follow us on social media, we're going to be posting pictures, doing live feeds. There are a lot of ways you can interact with us without actually physically stepping through the doors.
Happy the Helper is our unofficial yet official mascot that we have for our Happy for the Holidays campaign. Happy is our Haplocanthosaurus delphsi. What we want is to encourage kids to write digital letters to Happy, telling them about what their hopes and dreams are for the future and for the museum. And then they will receive a letter back in the mail after the holidays from Happy himself. We want to see what our community is hoping for the future, for the next 100 years for the museum. We feel like it totally embraces the museum's mission to explore, engage, and empower for a better tomorrow.
Wow. Love that place. And Cleveland is the first stop for that wildlife rescue exhibit. The Cleveland Museum of Natural History is open with limited hours Friday through Sunday. You want to check out their website, though. They do have some restrictions, of course, and they say you're welcome to come and safely enjoy the museum. Awesome place to take the kids. And you learn something, too, every time you go. At least I do. I love it.
I love wildlife is just excellent. Anything, zoos. Anytime you get a chance to see animals up close, I think that's a pretty fun and unique opportunity. And we're all looking for things to do, right? You know, and that's always a great way to spend the afternoon.
Plan really ahead is a really good way to do it. And Jay, I will tell you, they do have some of your very most favorite animals there. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, my favorite animal would be a dog.
Oh, the squirrels, of course.
Oh, no, I don't need to see any more squirrels. I do not need to see any more squirrels.
I know how much you love those. I'll tell you what, if you hadn't noticed, off track a little bit here as we roll the weather open, I'm just going to blab on here a little bit, but we had a lot of acorns this year. It was a mast year.
So what
for the oak trees?
That? Do we know?
I think it's a cyclical thing, quite honestly.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go way above my meteorology grade there, but the squirrels have been going bananas.
I've noticed that.
Stuffing stuff. So yeah, they're well stocked. Don't worry too much about those squirrels. There is beautiful downtown Cleveland. I think this is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, especially when it snows, because of that view right there, that little glow. And with that CSU cam, man, it sure does look nice out there. Yeah, and that being said, it is still snowing, everybody, and we're going to continue to have the snow as we go through the overnight hours. As a matter of fact, the snow continues to accumulate, especially in areas east, but keep in mind it's also very windy, so that's going to mess up a little bit as far as an easy kind of falling snow that gently accumulates, and you get a nice measurement out of that. We're going to throw all that out. We're going to have drifting and all that stuff going on. So temperatures generally holding steady in the low 30s. It will be colder farther south where the snow is already backing off. But we are now getting snow that is pushing even down into the Akron area. I heard from you, Akron and Greene and Norton and Barberton, and you very sad people that you didn't get the snow that you really, really wanted. And I think the thing to notice here is this line. This is I-76 206 and 224. My theory on all of this is that basically all of the lake-enhanced moisture was used up by the atmosphere up here in the primary and secondary snowbelt areas. Once you start to get that roiling effect going in the atmosphere that helps to wring out the moisture, and the air is still going to come over all of that action. When you have descending air, like I think it descended just south of the Akron area, it's going to warm up, it's going to dry out, and you're not going to get the snow. So little fluke there, but the snow is still coming down. I'm here just chatting away. There is a look at the roads. What a mess we have going on. At least some of the accidents are starting to get cleaned up, but we do have a lot of slide-off, spin-outs. It's the same story we had this morning. It's the same story we had the afternoon. It's going to be the same story this evening, and the snow is definitely coming down. We have less than a mile visibility in a good chunk of the area. So not only do we have visibility problems, but that blowing snow is creating the slush on the roadways. The road crews will not keep up. Just pack your patience as you step out. Winter storm warning does continue till 10 for all the pink counties. Winter weather advisory farther south till 1 a.m., but it's cold down to the south. That's where temperatures are in the 20s. Wind chills are in the teens now, everybody. The system, there it spins right over Lake Ontario, still slinging that northwest wind our way, and that means that lake effect snow is going to continue through the evening. National Design hour-by-hour forecast, though, does show it shifting eastward. Got to slow down for those words. And by the time we get into early Wednesday morning, I do think we will finally be over with the snow. Then we have clearing. Get ready to get your sunglasses out. Lots of sun glare off of that fresh snowpack. Temperatures, I think, are going to be cooler because of that fresh snowpack. So we're probably only going to be in the mid-30s for the day tomorrow to top things out. How much more snow is coming? Don't get too excited. This is going to start to back off now. The dry air is coming in. That should help to erode some of those heavier snow totals. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe out here in the primary, heart of the primary snowbelt areas, we still have another 3 to 6 inches coming. So just be advised of that. Here's a look at your Ken Ganley Kia 7-day outlook. Temperatures are going on up as we go through Wednesday into Thursday and Friday. A little flurry chance comes in Saturday. I think we're dry now for Sunday, but more lake snow is a possibility as we get into Monday. Now, moving forward for us. Excitement is building for one of the returns of the hottest HBO show. What we're learning about Euphoria and its upcoming holiday special is next in your Pop Break.
Then, Betsy, if you've been following this mystery, it's getting deeper now. You may remember that mysterious monolith that first showed up out of the blue in a Utah desert and then it disappeared. Well, just like that, it appears a continent away. What in the world is going on here? It's our Worth the Watch next. Well, you know that music. It means you're about to get smarter when it comes to Hollywood news. It is time for Pop Break. Here's Kira Cotton with the biggest news out of Tinseltown.
You may know them as Ellen Page, but today, Elliot Page of the Netflix show Umbrella Academy announced that he is transgender. The Oscar-nominated actor made the announcement in a post on Instagram saying, "I feel lucky to be writing this, to be here, to have arrived at this place in my life." The 33-year-old went on to explain that he is grateful for the support he's received, but he also used the moment to condemn those who spew hate and negativity towards the trans community. He went on to say, "Enough is enough. You aren't being canceled, you're hurting people. I am one of those people, and we won't be silent in the face of your attacks." Page now uses the pronouns he and they. Euphoria and its Emmy-winning star Zendaya are back with the release of the trailer for part 1 of the series' holiday special. The trailer picks up right where the season 1 finale left off. Rue is struggling with her drug addiction following the departure of her girlfriend Jules, played by Hunter Schafer. The pandemic put a hold on any official details surrounding the release of season 2, so fans will have to make do with the 2-part holiday special. Rue Part 1 will be available to stream at 9 p.m. on December 6th on HBO Max. And last but not least, NBC's singing competition, The Voice, is now live. And thanks to last night's show, we got a first look at Gwen Stefani's engagement ring. While Gwen played coy and was careful not to show off her new bling on social media, one Twitter user did the work for us, capturing this scene from last night's show. And as you can see, Blake did a great job. And Gwen is known for her bold fashion looks, and with her engagement to Blake, she now has the perfect sparkly accessory to go along with every outfit. And that wraps up your daily dose of entertainment news. I'm Kiera Cotton. Back to you guys.
Diamonds really do go with everything, don't they? Well, our Worth the Watch today takes us to Romania. Now, you may have seen the reports about that strange metal monolith in the Utah desert that just suddenly disappeared. Well, another one just did the same thing in Romania. It turned up on Friday on a hilltop, and then it was gone today. Unlike the one in the U.S., Romanian local media says that this one seems like it was more of a practical joke. I don't know that they've really established the one in Utah as of yet, although I think a guy busted them taking them down.
Well,
but,
yeah, he saw a truck leaving with it in the back.
Yeah.
Southwest Airlines did something really funny. You know when you're waiting for Southwest, they have those big placards with the numbers on them? They tweeted a picture of it with their numbers saying, "We found it."
Very clever.
Looked just like it, too.
Those people of Southwest. All right, wind and snow, right? The new developments on what's left of the lake effect snow, how much and when we get to see some sunshine.
Look at those pictures.
No, isn't it crazy?
Wow, perfect boating day.
Oh, sure.
Also, we have the story of a legendary, and I'm talking legendary, local pub. It has more than a century of history in the Cleveland area. We're going to tell you about the fight to keep it alive.
And later on, Myles Garrett is back. Why it couldn't be better timing for the Browns star to get off the COVID list today.
Welcome back.
Now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
It's my fault. I wasn't in place. I have running around. I got heels on again today, believe it or not.
You got to play news girl, weather girl. You're a busy lady.
Meteorologist.
That's true. Meteorologist.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, the snow continues to fly out and about here in Northeast Ohio. That is just one of the big stories that we are following here at the bottom of the hour. We're going to start off with a live look, though, at roads along Northeast Ohio's roadways. State Route 44 between Clarendon and Moffett and Chardon at this hour. You can see that there is a tree that is down, power lines that are down, and that is closed right now. We're going to talk more about the conditions around Northeast Ohio and how that is going to be playing out just coming up in here in a couple minutes.
Meantime, the road crews have really had their work cut out for them today. Remember, this is their first go of the season. That's always tricky. And they got slammed, too. The steady snowfall and wind has made it especially tricky to keep those roads clear. 300 plows are out working on the highways across Northeast Ohio counties. And while drivers have been frustrated at times today, it is no easy job that our road crews are undertaking. And also, the third thing you need to know, and this is a big one, the Ohio State football program has resumed team activities after an outbreak of COVID-19 last week forced them to cancel its game with Illinois. It's a big step for the program, who, as I mentioned, had that game scrubbed last week, and there are those that believe if they have to cancel either the Michigan State game, which is upcoming, or the Michigan game, which is their final regular season game, they will not be in the mix for any postseason play. And that would really be disappointing to a lot of Buckeye fans because fans believe, Betsy, that this year's team could be good enough to win it all.
Well, how do they play in the snow?
Hopefully well, because we're going to find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out real quick here. I'll tell you what, we have had plenty of snow throughout the day today. Really wish there was football on today. Wouldn't that have just been awesome? That's tomorrow, actually. Did you know that 3:40 tomorrow afternoon, the Ravens-Pittsburgh Steelers game is going to be here on Channel 3. We won't have the snow to go with it, but it's a weird kind of time scenario set up. There's a whole hot story that goes along with that. But there is a look at the snow that still comes down here in Northeast Ohio. This is lake effect. Widespread. So when we say widespread lake effect, that's pretty much what we're talking about. Not just the primary snow belt, but also western areas, secondary snow belt, and then also farther to the south as that northwest wind continues to drive it in. This is having a huge impact on the roadways. Zoomed into Cuyahoga County now, metro area. Akron is down at the bottom, going green, just slushy roads there. Meanwhile, 271, 71, 77, 480, 90, Turnpike, and also 490 having big problems as it is slow going thanks to all of the slush that is on the road. And as we go through the rest of the evening, it does look like that is not going to change. We had big problems this morning, this afternoon, this evening, and it's going to continue tonight because the wind will continue. So if you're expecting loved ones home, just remember it will take them longer to get home. Now, through the rest of the night, we'll finally start to see this backing off a little bit. We still have several hours of snow to go, don't get me wrong, but by the time we get to midnight and then especially into the early morning, we should really start to see this taper off. So I'm not anticipating any problems tomorrow morning. Country roads could have some issues because the snow is going to continue to blow in the wind, but it does look like the overall snow is going to be tapering off. That said, 1 to maybe up to 3 inches of snow as far west as Lorain, maybe down into the Akron area, and then farther out to the east. But that primary snow belt, we're still looking at about 4 to 6 inches of snow to go as we head through the rest of the evening. And we already showed you this before, but the big key here is that the temperatures are chilly, and it does look like those temperatures in the low 30s going to kind of lock things in. So get ready for a slushy night, Jay.
All right, our top talker today, the first major snowfall of the season is here, and many of you have been our eyes and ears where you live, and we love that too. On our app, on the social media, wherever you are, we love seeing those pictures and that video, and Romney Smith has had a look at what you've been sharing with us today.
This morning, we all woke up to a thick coating of snow. While some places saw 5 to 7 inches of snowfall, other areas saw more than a foot. And you guys were ready with your cameras, including this dramatic before and after from Barbara Carson on the west side.
The one window down, so I could take another couple shots and see the difference. It just, to me, it was startling. You know,
Some of you, like Keith Campbell on the east side, look forward to snow.
We knew the snow was coming, and this morning we ran to the back slider, and my two sons and I, we were looking out the back window, and we love it. We love the snow when it comes.
And while the animals seem to enjoy playing in the wintry mix, some kids did too.
I told him he had to go outside and shovel, and he kind of laughed. He's 4 years old, so he really just went out there and was kicking the snow around, so he likes it.
But some kids, like Amelia in Macedonia, weren't impressed. And honestly, some adults are already over it too.
My husband's getting ready to walk the dog in it, and he'll tell me about it. And I'll say, oh, that sounds awful.
Whether you hate it or love it, we appreciate you sending us your pictures.
I said, this is really cool. And my next thought was actually that Jason would like it. I'd just seen him when I turned on the TV this morning.
He said, tag us and tag me in a picture, so I tagged him in the picture.
Okay, so we absolutely have been loving the pictures and video that has been rolling in all day long, but we want to make sure that you're only taking it if it's safe. Please don't injure yourself to get a cool picture. So if you can safely take a neat picture, we'd love to see it. You can always use the 3 News app to submit it to our online gallery. And Jay, I have to say, if you haven't already, you should take a few minutes and click through it. There are some amazing pictures.
Yeah, I took 3 and submitted them today. And I got to tell you, I had a really fun time scanning through all the different pictures because it's great. You can see exactly how much snowfall they had in Parma.
Right.
You can go to Westlake, you can bounce all around. And I felt a little worse after doing it because I didn't see any pictures that had as much snow as mine did.
I mean, you live on that part of town, so.
I know. I knew that when I moved there. Romney, thanks. Great look at a lot of the fun and cool pictures that have been rolling in. Keep them coming.
Well, we turn now to some of the other headlines that are making news today. And for that, of course, Russ Mitchell joins us from over at the Big Desk. Russ, we really appreciate you putting down the hot chocolate, cuddled up in front of the fire earlier.
Yeah.
To come in and hang with us today.
I appreciate that Bailey's you put in that as well. So that was you, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay, just checking. All right, thank you, Betsy.
Non-alcoholic version, of course.
Of course, of course. Good afternoon, everybody. Here's what's happening. We begin in Congress with House and Senate leaders have not held relief talks since before the election. President-elect Joe Biden formally announced his economic team today, naming former Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen as Treasury Secretary. 3 other women were also named to top positions. And it was 65 years ago today that Rosa Parks refused to go to the back of a Montgomery, Alabama bus when the driver ordered her to move to give up her seat to a white man. Her courageous act eventually led to a Supreme Court decision desegregating the Montgomery bus system. It remains a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement. Rosa Parks died in 2005 at the age of 92. And Betsy, I say this every year, Rosa Parks, by refusing to give up her seat, is one of the reasons I can sit in this seat today. Very grateful.
And we are so grateful for her courage and her standing up, so we get to sit with you.
Well, thank you, Betsy.
We're the winners in this one with you. That's awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Let's talk again coming up at 6, shall we? All right. Well, they say legends never die, but one keystone of downtown Cleveland's social scene is fighting for its life. The legend of Moriarty's and how you can help save it.
And later, the Browns give it, and the Browns taketh away. Just as the team heralds the return of Myles Garrett, they lose another key defender. That's all ahead when What's New continues.
Hello, how's it going? Good. It's so snowy outside, I had to block the wind with an umbrella for Winston. It was an adventure. All right, thanks.
All right, here we go, friends. Another update for you now at 5:41. It is still snowing in the CLE. Look at the terminal tower. Look what's going on with the terminal tower. The lights are going bananas. Check that out. Every now and then we pop this up and they have a show going on. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Now, back in the day, and by back in the day I mean just a couple of years ago, you used to be able to tweet at the terminal tower to request a color. And then they'd put on a little show. It would do it for birthdays and stuff like that. But every now and then it gets a little tricky. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. That was a little gift right there. But yeah, the snow is coming down. Look, see how they do that? Isn't that clever? I think it's one of the coolest buildings in all of America. All right, we do have that snow coming down. As I said, it's going to continue to come down, but we're going to start to see it breaking up. Check it out. By the time we get into the early morning hours, we may even get some clearing in here. That's going to allow the temperatures to really come down. So that means that the areas where we still have slushy surfaces will freeze up unless it's treated. So decks, porches, steps, any elevated surface. Your car if you park outside. Once again, pop the windshield wipers up. If you haven't done it, get out there and do it now. That's going to help to save you some time tomorrow morning because things are going to start to freeze up. But yeah, we do have that snow that continues. Man, this storm system is just a beaut, isn't she? We have the low that is at the surface. We have the upper level low. Everything has kind of come together. That all happened yesterday. That's why we had that big changeover from the rain to the snow. And that center of circulation is right here over Lake Ontario. Tonight, we're going to start to see it all beginning to shift eastward. It's going to take its sweet time in doing it. This is not going to be a real rapid one, but we are still on the backside, and you can see how it's pulling in that lake moisture off of Lake Huron and then also Lake Erie. But what's coming in here, coming straight through southern Michigan here, is dry air. That will also be pulled in, and you can kind of see how it's starting to erode the snow there in the eastern, the thumb of lower Michigan. So that's some good news for us. That being said, still snowing, still plenty of snow to go, and the wind is also blowing. That is really complicating things. Again, we do have a lot of slow going on the roadways. Folks are making it just with a lot of extra time, slushy going, but you can see there have been some slide offs and spin outs as well. For now, the winter storm warning continues. I say for now because if the snow stops, they're probably going to discontinue it, but as of right now, it goes till 10 in the morning. We have the winter weather advisory farther south till 1 a.m. That's probably just going to be allowed to expire. Temperatures right around 30 degrees, but wind chills are in the teens, and that continues tonight. Windy conditions continue for us. Here comes the dry air. It's going to help to push that snow out toward the state line area. We will see some clearing. Where we see clearing, south and west, we will have very cold temperatures, mid-20s tomorrow morning. Bring the pets in. Appreciate that. And then as the day continues on, we're not going to rebound all that much. All that fresh snow that we have around Northeast Ohio reflects the sun's energy. And so it's not only going to be a very bright day, but it's going to help to hold the temperatures down. Excuse me. Light accumulation still to go as that snow continues to move out. Ken Gamley, Kia 7-day outlook. The temperatures are going to be going up toward 40 degrees with partly cloudy skies Thursday, Friday, flurry chance on Saturday, and then Jay, 35 with snow on Monday.
I would get you a drink of water, but I can't leave my post.
You're not allowed.
I know. Clear
I'll
that
get my own water.
We'll do a story here. You get yourself a nice drink of water. All right, over the past 100 years, Moriarty's Pub, you've heard of it, I'm sure, on East 6th Street, has built a long and storied legacy in downtown Cleveland. They opened in 1920. Imagine the history that it has seen in this town, 100 years. Now, the beloved dive bar is now being told to relocate from its longtime home. So our Mike Polk raises a glass to the Cleveland institution and shares how you can help keep those memories alive.
This place is historic, as most Clevelanders know.
Morgan Cavanaugh, the owner of downtown Cleveland's historic Moriarty's Pub, is making some funeral arrangements.
We're going to have an Irish wake for this grand lady, Moriarty.
If you've never been to an Irish wake, it might seem like an odd way to mourn. But speaking personally, the funerals on the Irish side of my family are usually more fun than the weddings on the German side, so there are worse ways to say goodbye.
Plenty of Guinness, plenty of Jameson. We'll have some Irish music playing here.
Unfortunately, if you're having an Irish wake, that means you've recently experienced a loss. And we sure have, Cleveland.
After about 87 years as Moriarty's and 13 years as a speakeasy, this building sold, and the new owners, it's their building, I understand it, they want all the tenants out, including me.
Moriarty's is a dark, tiny, genuine bar with a good jukebox and character to spare. And it's been holding it down on East 6 for the past 100 years.
The building was done in 1920 and the speakeasy started. And the man who worked to run the speakeasy, John Moriarty, got the pub going when Prohibition ended. What a bad law that was.
As Cleveland changed dramatically over time, Moriarty stood stalwart through it all, remaining stubbornly the same.
We survived the economic downturn. This bar survived the Great Depression. It survived all the world wars, everything else. It's been here.
But after the sale of the Baker building, tenants were told they'd have to leave by the end of the year. It would mark the end of an era.
This place is the only bar downtown that was here in '48 when the Indians won, and then '64 when the Browns won their last of many championships. And let's not forget 2016 with the Cavaliers. We were in the thick of it. We're the only bar from all those days.
Kavanaugh's hope is to keep Moriarty's alive, the name and spirit at least, by relocating to a new spot. But like so many small business owners, the pandemic has him in a financial bind. So he's launched a GoFundMe page to try to get help with storage and moving costs.
It's called Help Move Moriarty's, Please. I'd appreciate that. You can come down here and have a drink, come buy a mask. I'm talking to a few places about relocating. I would love to stay in the neighborhood. Any landlords out there want me at a decent fair price, come talk to me here. We'll have a pint. You know, we'll have a few pints.
So if you happen to be or know someone in the market for a reliable tenant with about 100 years worth of references, you could do worse than Moriarty's.
I want Moriarty's to live on, and I can patch the torch on somebody else. If you've ever been to my place, you know this bar has a spirit of its own, and you feel good. You know, either you get it or you don't, and that's so special about this place.
A fitting eulogy for a piece of Cleveland history that's lived a very long life, but is still leaving us too soon. This is Mike Polk for 3 News. Sláinte.
Wow, pretty cool. Moriarty's owner, Morgan Cavanaugh, is hoping to raise $37,000 in order to relocate. He's received a little over $21,000 so far. Neat little place, and it's so much history and so much tradition, it's almost impossible to think that it wouldn't continue that tradition here in Cleveland.
There were a lot of marriages that have started there, and there's a lot of marriages that have ended there. That is his line when you walk in the door.
That's exactly right.
Just a really classic little dive bar joint and just wonderful place to go. So we will miss it. Certainly.
When they relocate, I'm pretty confident they will. We'll let you know where they turn up. I know Mike will let us know for sure.
Our Moriarty's correspondent, if we can get him out of there. All right. Well, coming up for us, the storm was nothing for those of us who grew up in Northeast Ohio, but we can't say the same for some of the Browns players facing their first Cleveland winter. Wait till you see the way some of these big babies reacted.
Well, hey, you know, if you don't grow up in this is a whole new world. And for some it is. Later in our Show Us Something Good, the unexpected gift that is making this holiday season merrier and bright for one gas station attendant. This one will give you the warm and fuzzies, I promise.
Yes, I am.
Well, it's time now to see what is clicking in Cleveland. Of course, for that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. And Stephanie, you know, when we get big weather events, that's what people click on. I know. But no matter what is going on, if there's something going on with the Browns, people click on that too.
We got the best of both worlds for you today, Betsy. First, we'll start off with the more football side of things. We've got one star defensive player back a day earlier than expected, and just in time because another one will be out for at least the next 3 weeks. Defensive end Myles Garrett was taken off the Browns' COVID-19 reserve list today after head coach Kevin Stefanski said he expected him back by tomorrow. Garrett missed 2 games due to NFL COVID protocol, but now he'll officially be back for Sunday's game against the Tennessee Titans. But safety Ronnie Harrison Jr. won't be. The Browns put him on the injured reserve list today after he hurt his shoulder in last Sunday's win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He could be out recovering for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Now, Harrison Jr. is just one of the Cleveland Browns players who was struggling a little bit in the snow today. This video shows him having a really tough time getting the snow off of his truck, taken by Browns cornerback Greedy Williams. I'm sure the shoulder injury doesn't help there, but we can cut him some slack even without that because Harrison Jr. hasn't seen a lot of snow. He grew up in Florida, he played college ball in Alabama, and he played for Jacksonville before he got traded to the Browns in August. And Greedy's from Louisiana, so we can see why this was pretty funny to him. And wide receiver Kaderil Hodge, who grew up in Mississippi and played in Texas in college, had a tough time too. He tweeted, "If you see me on the road today, go around. I'll be driving a maximum 15 miles per hour with the emergency lights on." He was not joking. He actually posted this video where he's only driving 10 miles per hour. Now, I can't tell him any tips for the driving, but I will say this, Betsy, here's my tip. If you're trying to get the snow off your windshield, just go out there, start the car early. Even though that was a lot of snow, it might have taken a while, but that's my best tip for these poor guys.
Pop those windshield wipers up, and oh yeah, by the way, put your cell phone down while you're driving, even if you're only driving 15 miles an hour. Come on, man. All right, thanks so much, Stephanie. Jay?
Still ahead on what's new this Giving Tuesday. We've got a great story for you, the gift to one gas station attendant that will definitely put a smile on your face. That's coming up. It's our Show Us Something Good.
And coming up on What Matters Most, another gift making headlines. This one to a top hospital system here in Northeast Ohio. It's the 3rd largest gift ever to a public hospital. We'll be right back.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4. So now they're going to have to deal with this lake effect snow, and ODOT says they may have to shift crews.
Hi. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello, hello.
Mic check 1, 2, 3. Our show is something good. Thank you. Mic check. It is almost 6 o'clock on Channel 3, where the 6 o'clock news will start. Okay.
We wrap up this edition of What's New with our Show Us Something Good. It's all about generosity and goodwill. Love this story. A gas station attendant, Bradley Rowe in Oregon, saw his fortunes change dramatically after chatting with a seemingly random customer. Minutes after that customer left, he went to a nearby car dealership and anonymously bought the young man a brand new car.
Wow.
Absolutely incredible. Just a total stranger that wanted to do something nice. So Betsy, let's always remember, treat everybody with kindness because you never know who might be willing to give you a free car. No, just treat them kind because it's the right thing to do.
Oh, there's that too.
Of course.
You can hope.
We're out of time. Thanks for choosing What's New. We hope you make us a habit. We're back. Tomorrow, actually, we're off because of the football game.
Yeah.
So Thursday at 5, we'll see you.